Well, hello, folks. Welcome back to our very first Internet interview of 2026. Clap, everybody, clap. We can't hear it, but the audience is clapping. What more fiery of a guest could we have today than, of course, the voice actor of Orphe and Magus, the voice actor of Marnie from Pokemon, the voice actor of Khalifa. Is it Khalifa? How do you pronounce it?
It's Kale. No, I'm the other one.
Wait, you're only Kale?
Yeah, well, because Kefla is the fused one.
Because I've been calling her, because I meme and I call her cauliflower.
Oh, no. It's Kale and cauliflower, and then they fuse and they make Kefla.
Oh, right. Right, they do that. Well, welcome in, everybody. Miss Don Bennett. As I was kind of mentioning before even the interview started, Don is, of course, one of the most storied VAs that we've had on this program. I may and may not have the IMDb pulled up, video games to anime, and even just so many different interesting roles and just extra voices in between. The first question that we even need to start with is, Dawn, how did we even get our starts with voice acting?
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a Pokemon. Whenever you're like on the playground with your fellow kids and you're pretending and making silly noises, like I would imitate the Pokemon all the time. Yeah. And so that's how I got my practice, like doing those types of voices. And I remember as a kid, I got made fun of for it. My friends would be like, "Hey, you sound like anime." Back when anime wasn't mainstream. Like, you got kind of teased for it. As I was still, very interested in Pokemon, I read an interview with Veronica Taylor, the first voice of Ash Ketchum. And that blew my mind when I read that interview. I'm like, wait, Ash is voiced by a woman? Whoa! Also, this is a job? And so I tell my mom, little like 8-year-old me or however old I was. Yeah. I'm like, I want to be a voice actor. And my Filipino mom is like, I don't know what that is. Go be a nurse. So I went to music school. I went to music school instead. Years later in college, I was in a video game music club. We had a game jam, which if you guys don't know what that is, a game jam is where you team up with a bunch of people. You make a video game in 24 to 48 hours. It's all for fun. And I said, that sounds amazing. I don't know anything about audio yet, but what can I do? I want to make a game. And people were like, you want to try voiceover? Some of these might need voice acting. And I go, yeah! And so the first thing that I ever voiced for, it was this game where I played a male hillbilly. I recorded into my Mac built-in microphone in a very echoey practice room. It sounded like shit. And I pitched it down in GarageBand. And so the audio was awful, but it was so fun because I got to say silly stuff like, well, butter my butt, call me a biscuit. The Game Jam had a contest rating everyone's games, and our game placed third. Yeah, and the president of our video game music club was like, you were really good at this. You should keep doing this. And so I did. So while I was studying music, I volunteered voice acting all around the entire campus because I just thought it was so fun getting in the booth and doing like all these different voices, whatever they asked. For these student projects, we would dub movie clips, we would make like radio ads, all sorts of stuff. And I didn't realize it was giving me practice for eventually my first audition, which was for Fairy Tale at Funimation.
I think, Dawn, you're one of the more historied VAs in the sense of like you've been able to have such an illustrious career already. I guess starting with Fairy Tale was our one of our biggest roles, I would say, especially anime. How did we get, I guess, into video games? Was the transition just like super smooth and like, I started with anime and then just eventually just went into video games, or was it something a little bit more deliberate?
I did start with anime and I was doing that for a little while. Yeah, Fox Senpai. He's politely calling Dawn old. I'm like,
guys,
history.
No.
My first video game was actually right before I booked anime. After the video game music club, that same video game music club president named Akash the Car, he works in sound design in the video game industry. He's so lovely. He actually referred me to an indie game that following summer. It was called Freedom Planet. It is this indie game. It started as a Sonic fan game. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what I was doing. I did the same thing that I did with the Hillbilly game, where I read into my MacBook and recorded in GarageBand and did the built-in microphone thing. I somehow booked the lead in this indie game. The funny thing too is that I didn't read the instructions. On the instructions, it clearly said, hey guys, please don't read for the main characters. I've decided I'm going to try and scout them on my own.
Okay.
Please read for these side characters instead. I somehow missed that and read for every single main character. I submitted and then I saw the instruction afterwards and I'm like, this guy's gonna think I'm a fucking idiot because I couldn't read. Sabrina, the creator of Freedom Planet, reached out and was like, you're perfect. I'm like, oh, thank God, you're nice. I think the video game that I booked after that was Smite.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I have a soft spot for Smite.
And I didn't know what Smite was, but I loved all the character designs. And the first thing I booked in Smite, like I've never booked like a standalone character. They've all been skins, but they're all so unique and pretty. So the one that I booked was Celestial Isis, with these beautiful stained glass wings. Like look her up. She's so pretty.
Oh,
and I was
yes.
like, I get to be that? Oh, so and
Have you played Smite by chance?
No, I'm so behind with my gaming.
Don't worry, because Smite, I mean, you know, I have a soft spot in my heart for Smite. For the folks at home, I used to be a Freya main. I used to actually, funny enough, I used to play Isis. I used to play, for the folks of you who are MOBA heads out there, the middle lane, which is like where the mages are. So Isis was one of the characters in that lane, so I used to play Freya. But anyways, I guess to speak to that experience a little bit, were there some particular roles that you had to like do multiple times for a particular franchise or IP, or maybe you just like auditioned for, you know, kind of like shotgun a varied amount of roles, or like?
I feel like if it has a big ensemble, you're most likely going to audition for a bunch of different characters. But yeah, it happens the most with games. Persona, or like any of the Hoyo games, or even like, you know, a bunch of big anime, you'll get a packet. Sometimes they'll be like, oh yes, please read for all of them. Or sometimes they might be like, we have a lot of characters, pick your 3 best ones. Like Smite, definitely, I auditioned for a bunch, because I've played a bunch of different skins. Any of the Hoyo games, I've read on a bunch of those characters before. Although I will say with Orphe and Magus though, when their batch came around, they had a bunch of different people you could try out for.
Okay.
We didn't see like any character design or anything. We just saw like, you know, the script. But I remember thinking, oh my gosh, this character's backstory sounds really interesting. Like, I'm very fascinated by this. That was the only one out of that batch that I picked.
At the time, was it for Orphe and Magus?
Yes.
Okay.
They keep a lot of those details kind of like still kind of a mystery.
Sure, yeah.
But just like the concept of like the way that I saw it, it was like 2 souls coexisting. I'm like, oh, this is my jam. This is my jam. I want to try that. And so
I did want to touch back a little bit with Persona. I believe it was Persona 3 Reload, right, that we're in.
My entrance into Persona happened with Persona 5 Strikers. I played a bunch of bits in that one.
Oh.
And I remember I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, I get to voice in a Persona game. This is awesome. There was that. There was Tactica. I played some bits in that one. And Reload happened. I just couldn't believe it. I remember I was hanging out with some people when I got the phone call after, you know, with those auditions. You audition and you try and forget. You try and be like, okay, I'm not going to think about this, because if I think about it too much, I'm going to want it really badly, and then I'm going to be sad
100%.
if I don't get it. And so it had been, you know, weeks. I'm hanging out with friends, and then I get a phone call, and I realize I had worked with this director before, but I hadn't registered her number. So I was like, who is this person calling me? And I pick up and I go, hi, hello. The director, Val, from PCB Productions, she goes, hello, is this Igus? And I'm like, No, this is Don. Who is this? It was like that, no, this is Patrick.
This is
I'm like it just flew over my head. I'm like, no?
No.
And she's like, I said, is this Aigis? And I go, no? And she goes, honey, this is Val. You're playing Aigis. And I go, oh! And I'm just like, what? Also, you can imagine I had to go back to my other friends who weren't in the game and just be like,
No, you're just like. I did want to bring up a fun segment of our internet interviews, the lightning round. Now, these are just going to be general, like, icebreaker questions, fun little icebreaker questions, and just try to answer these as best as possible. They're going to be real chill. We want your unfiltered answers here. Are you ready, Dawn?
yeah.
Folks, the lightning round starts now. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Sunday Morning from Maroon 5.
Go-to meal when you're sick?
Chicken noodle soup, specifically the brand is Lipton.
What is our favorite amusement park ride, or like generalized amusement park ride of sorts?
Water slides?
Okay.
Or indoor coasters.
What is your favorite villain of all time from any franchise, any?
Okay, this is just off the top of my head just because Trigun is fresh in my brain right now. I like Legato from 1998 Trigun.
The last question, if you were stranded on an island with any of the characters that you voice, and now I've added a little caveat to this because Sam Slade, she cheated me last time. She's like, oh yeah, I'd just be Topaz and call up the IPC and just fly myself out of here. I'm like, okay, Miss Cheater. If you're stranded on an island and you can't get off this island with any character that you have voiced, who would you like to be stranded with?
I was gonna say, yeah, I'd be like, oh, Kale, because please help, fly me away.
Just fly out of there. Yeah. So
it would have to be someone who's resourceful. I got it.
Yeah.
Ilsa from Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, because she is a general. She is in the military. She would know how to survive out in the wild.
That is a good choice.
She is competent.
That's a lightning round. There you go. Aced it. Which came first, if you could help me out with this one? Did Marnie come first or did Yukong come first?
I believe Marnie came first, and to specify, I played Marnie in Pokemon Twilight Wings, which was an animation on the official Pokemon YouTube channel. I was the first person to ever voice her. I also did like 2 or 3 lines, but I was still the first person to voice her.
There was another Pokemon role that we also did, yes?
After that, same thing. It's also on the Pokemon YouTube channel, Pokemon Evolutions. I voiced Lusamine.
I remember Lusamine very well when I played through Sun and Moon. I'm like, oh, she's so pretty. And then she whips out the Ultra Beast. I'm like, oh, okay. I wanted to kind of use that point as like a kind of circle back to the beginning where we did talk a little bit about how Pokemon was kind of our inspiration. Was the experience any different in terms of getting to voice in a franchise that was like kind of the starting point of it all?
Gosh, I remember freaking out so bad because I loved Marnie, when I played like Sword and Shield, and I thought she was such a cool looking character. And then I remember in that same session, because there were a bunch of Pokemon and like maybe they'll have 1 or 2 lines, 1 or 2 little cries, and the director was like, all right, in addition to Marnie, we're going to have you do just like 1 cue for this Wingull in the background and 1 cue for this Arctozolt. The Wingull, I got to be like, and like the Arctozolt just sneezes, so I just go I got to be 2 Pokemon. It was
That's adorable.
So I was like, I got to be a water bird.
Don also voices Nabbit, the sort of the gremlin, sounds and noises you nail. With voice acting, there are roles where you're being a little bit of a gremlin, and then you get to Honkai Star Rail, and then you become one of the greatest, I guess, parental figures of all time in Yukong. We do love Yukong in this household. How was the experience like? Was Yukong the first role, or do we have something in Genshin?
No. In Hoyo, my intro to Hoyo was Yukong.
Okay. How was that experience like?
Again, it was another character that I was very interested in reading on, like, this tragic past and wanting to really dig deep into that.
With Orphie and Magus, initially what I had thought earlier was that, like, especially with, I'd say, Dragon Ball, since you only voice Kale, it was my misinterpretation that we had voiced both of them. I was like, oh, I can make an easy connection of like, I keep botching her name. Kale? No, not Kale. Caulifla? Caulifla. Lee.
Fla.
Oh, there's a flaw. Caulifla. Caulifla. Oh my gosh, I'm getting a language lesson here. So yeah, that was my misinterpretation that we had actually voiced both. So I was like, oh.
So here, I think that what the confusion is you thinking that I voice Kale and Caulifla, but what it actually is I voice small Kale and big Kale, because Kale hulks out into this giant, like,
yes,
that universe is Broly.
Oh, right. Yes.
She starts out kind of small, and then she gets really angry, and then she hulks out. So like that. When Orphie and Magus came out, there were a lot of people who didn't know that I was in Dragon Ball. So people were like, wait, Orphie and Magus, they're voiced by the same person? I'm like, oh, a lot of these folks have not heard me in Dragon Ball.
How was the process of creating and developing their voice?
Like, the way that I read it was that, we have like two sides. You've got Magus, who's already lived a full life. Yeah. And you've got Orphie, who's like, I want to fulfill all of these expectations. And I just really like their dynamic of, Orphie wanting to be the best that she can be for everybody else. And Magus is just like, you're great as you are. Don't live the way I did. Go live your own life.
I think it'd be a great time to pivot towards some viewer Q&As, because they have some good questions this time around. I have to give it to you guys. You got some good questions this time around. I would love to start with this one. What are some of your biggest influences in becoming a voice actor, or some that you even have today?
I think my biggest influence, because the spark began with Pokemon, but my two biggest influences that made me really want to do it was Yu-Gi-Oh! And Inuyasha. People like to be like, 4 kids to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dub, but it was iconic. The casting was iconic, because with casting and with voice acting, you could close your eyes. With both Inuyasha and with Yu-Gi-Oh! If you can close your eyes and still know which character is talking, that's a good cast. And I admired both of those. And then later on, I wasn't watching too much anime when I was like in high school, but then in college, my roommate got me back into it. And so I think my biggest influences in college were Jamie Marchi, Monica Rial in Panty and Stocking.
Oh.
And the Hetalia dub.
Okay. Oh.
You seem shocked.
A little bit. But no, I 100% feel it, and their performances, especially with Panty and Stocking, a little bit provocative, but, again, like, just really bringing out the true nature of those characters. Like, I 100% feel it. Let's go over to fellow Candy's question. What were some of your funniest moments recording for Orphie and Magus?
My funniest moments? Or most fun moments?
Either or.
I remember recording a line for Orphie. I think like Orphie had gotten caught by Magus for like skimping out on training. Magus is like, scolding her about it. And all Orphie says is, help. Just like this tiny little help. I remember when I read that, I was trying to emulate the little baby that tries wasabi for the first time.
Oh, you're talking about the meme.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
The little baby that tries wasabi for the first time, and she goes, help.
What was the hardest line to do? And I assume they were referencing Orphie and Magus. I kind of want to extrapolate that question a little bit. What was a character that you found the most difficult to voice?
I think the most difficult character I've had to voice, I'm in an indie animated short film called The Lovers. I play this very hot mermaid named Serena. I had to voice her in Tagalog, which I am Filipino, but I was born here, and so I'm actually not fluent in Tagalog. So we had someone help me with, we had a language consultant, like an official language consultant.
That's
like
sick.
That's literally his job. And he was helping me speak it properly because my pronunciation was off. He reminded me of my uncle. He was nice but blunt. And he was like, oh yeah, the acting's great. Pronunciation isn't. Do that again, please. I'm like, yep, okay, got it.
Let's go to the next question. Are there any other future games, IPs, that you would like to be a part of?
It's very, very specific, and I don't know if it'll happen just because it is kind of niche. But if Marvel Rivals ever adds Red She-Harpy, I want to play her so bad. She's Red She-Hulk, but like the more recent, the more recent iteration, where she like mutates into like this bird monster. I would love to play her so bad. I'm like, I wanna play like monster Betty Ross. She deserves it. She deserves this arc.
Here's one that I'm going to extrapolate their question from Fox Senpai. With a lot of voice acting interviews, you must get this question asked a lot. We did want to ask if you had one large piece of advice, whether it be general or specific, what advice would you like to give about becoming a voice actor, how to find your voice, turning voice acting into a job or career?
I would recommend broadening your horizons. Don't just play or consume media that you already do. Like branch out to other things. You will be surprised at what you would like. Last year, I didn't think I'd be into Metroidvanias, but I heard my friends all playing Hollow Knight Silksong. I'm like, well, I want to see what this is about. So I started it. I ended up loving it. And now I'm on like my 4th Castlevania game. Actors playing characters, every character you play is going to be different. They're going to have a completely different life depending on what the director wants, depending on the tone of the project. Like everything could be very different from each other. So you don't want to sound the same in every single thing. Like you don't want your experience to only be, oh yeah, well, I only watched anime, but I haven't really watched any Western animation or cartoons, or I haven't really seen any live action movies. Like you're just gonna sound like anime, you know? Or, you know, video games, oh, I've only played like these types of games. Okay, then what happens if you audition for a different game? Like you're only going to sound like you're from this genre, but none of these others. Like branch out, definitely branch out, play everything, watch everything. Also just live life. Becoming a voice actor, when you're getting into that, you will find a lot of people that is their only personality. Do not make acting your personality, because again, when you play these characters, you're not playing actors. You're playing people who have lived unique lives. So you need to go out and live your life, like have your own unique experiences that you can bring to the table. Because everyone that comes in is going to be an actor. You bring something unique to the table. You have to go live your life.
As far as the time that we have, I think we're about just wrapped up here, yes? Are there any fun things that you can talk about that you are going to be doing in the near future?
Well, a couple things that are streaming right now that I think everyone should check out. I play Kivia in the Crunchyroll dub of Sentenced to be a Hero. I am having so much fun playing her. It is a really gorgeous show. Also on Netflix, I'm Iroha in Cosmic Princess Kaguya. And I also think everyone should watch that. That is also it's a beautiful movie. Yeah, and then, you know, we talked about her earlier, but Ilsa is now playable in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising. And yeah, I also had a lot of fun with her.
Thank you so much for coming on, Dawn. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Also, is it your birthday?
It is my birthday tomorrow, yeah.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
But yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you. And of course, make sure you guys go check out Dawn at all the socials. Well, folks, we gotta let Dawn go. But thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Have a good one, everybody.